Hey guys, so it's Elias down here at Spanaway. I'm making this video at the request of Random. I guess we have a lot of dirty and water spotted glass at some of our locations, and he basically wanted me to do a video on how to clean a piece and make it look brand new. This actual instructional is going to be more for Spanaway, but you can do this at Puyallup also, basically either with the hot water sink or with the hot water from the water tank. If you're using the hot water from the water tank, instead of running the water through it, you're going to want to basically fill it with hot water, shake it up, and do that about 2 or 3 times until the reclaim becomes runny and there's steam on the inside of the piece before going and continuing on to the next steps. But for Spanaway here, we've got this nice hot water sink. Sorry about using such a big piece for the instructional, but it's one of the dirtiest ones we got at the moment. Basically, you want to heat up all this reclaim and heat up the glass, and how we do that here, you go ahead and just turn the sink on hot. We're going to let the water run through the rig for about 30 seconds to a minute or so. Like I said, if you are at Puyallup or one of the other locations with the hot water tanks that we have, you can go ahead and just fill it with hot water, shake it up, dump it out, and do that 2 or 3 times until the reclaim is nice and warm. Here's probably take about 30 seconds. The important thing here is you want the reclaim to be nice and running. Basically trying to get into the water and come up out of the glass. If you have it collected in the water on top of the water, that's a good sign too. So once everything's nice and warm, go ahead and dump it out. And there's a time limit here basically. You want to do all of this while the glass is still warm and the reclaim is all warm. After this, you want to go ahead and fill it up with some alcohol. If you got a multi-stage piece like this one, you want to put some in both ends. Make sure you get all the perks clean. This piece doesn't really have any water spots, but if you do have water spots, you can go ahead and add a little bit of salt. I want to repeat, a little bit of salt, because if you end up putting too much, you're going to deposit minerals on the inside of the glass, and you're going to get more water spots than we get just from this tap water here. Anyway, once you get the alcohol in it, you want to shake it really well, agitate it, and you're going to see the reclaim start to actually deposit in the water. Instead of getting big chunks of reclaim, you're going to get basically orange alcohol on the inside of the piece. Now also, if you do this and you get water spots at the end, go ahead and do it again with a little bit of salt. I'm going to show you just about how much salt, because a lot of people like to put way too much. For any piece, the only amount of salt you need is really just that much, enough to deposit into the actual alcohol. You don't need it puddling at the bottom and collecting. You just need a little bit, and all it is an abrasive. It doesn't really do anything else. Alright, when you're done with that, you're going to dump all your alcohol. You're going to do another hot water bath. This one you can leave a little bit longer if you want, and also if you use salt, you're going to want to dump it also. You're not just going to want to let the water run through like you did when you heated it up. You're going to actually have to pick it up and dump it back out, because there's going to get salt granules stuck in the perks and things like that, collecting on the bottom because it's heavier than the water. It's not just going to want to flow out with it. Now there's an important step here also that a lot of people like to skip, and another reason the glass gets looking a little shoddy on the shelves. When you're doing this, when the glass is nice and hot, after you cleaned it out and after all the alcohol's ran through it, you've got the glass nice and warm, you want to go ahead and wipe it down. Any finger oils or spit from people coughing on it, anything on the outside of the piece doesn't always necessarily get wiped off, and the heat helps. and also obviously all the water and alcohol that's spilled over the piece in the process of cleaning. So you can go ahead and stop the water, drain it, and you just want to give it a good wipe down. I start at the base all the way around. You want to do nice, good, tight wipes so you're actually removing all the finger waxes and things off of the piece. Get a nice, clean glass appearance. Then once that's done, you still got a big steamy hot piece, so if you fill it up with water, put right in front of somebody, you're going to get a big hot hit that's not really going to taste too good. So my next step is I also flush that piece with cold water. Get the glass cold, makes for a nice clean first hit. Also gives it a nice fresh clean appearance because you're going to get a little bit of water on the outside of the piece just because it's cold on the inside, condensation. So like 30 seconds or so. Then you're going to want to give it a nice, good wipe down at the end. Also, water testing. Water test your pieces. And don't just water test them right here when you have the water in them and pull it through and make sure it doesn't hit your mouth. You actually have to get it out there on the bar. Put the drop down with the nail. Don't put a nail that's smoking, obviously, and pull the air through it. You need that extra air from the drop down and the restriction of the nail to make sure that the water is actually going to hit properly. Especially with a recycler, you want to make sure that it functions on the bar, not just in here. Anyway, that's pretty much the conclusion of my video. All I have left to do is wipe this thing down and get a proper water level in it. But looks nice and brand new. Well, hopefully it helps, guys. Have a good day.